Hello and welcome to the newest episode of Greetings from Cybertron, this Capes and Lunatics only YouTube exclusive show. I am Phil. Joining me as always is...
This is Matt, exclusively on YouTube and on Kindle. It's Matt. Oh yeah. Oh. I thought I had the paper one, and I did not. So I had to scramble to get the digital. Got to get that paper.
So yeah, I was gonna say I have a first printing. I was gonna ask you what you had, but
I have a never printed. Yeah. I can't comment on the ads or anything. But you know what? The digital version is the next best thing to being there with the paper copies. So.
There you go. Yeah. All right, so today we are discussing Transformers, of course, the Marvel edition, number 10 from November 1985. Dawn of the Devastator.
Yes. It's a pretty good looking cover. It looks like a giant Decepticon, much bigger than all the well, it looks like there's Autobots and Decepticons in his wake, you know. But
I think those are mostly supposed to be Autobots, well, except for whoever that is plugged into that satellite dish.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
All right. So, who's starting us off? You or me?
Why don't you start it off?
Okay. And have you noticed, I think it seems like the last couple issues, every issue, are we getting like a different artist, like a different penciler at least?
Yeah. Yeah, it's Ricardo Belamonte doing the penciling tonight.
Yep. All right, so let's...
But I'll let you do the full credits. But yeah, I noticed that.
All right, let's get into this. Yeah, it begins at Blackrock Aerospace Assembly Plant number 1 in a suburb of Portland, Oregon. As we see workmen building something, as Shockwave standing there saying, "All is in readiness. The next generation of Decepticons is about to be born, and you, Optimus Prime, are to be its parent. It is logical to assume such an achievement will swell your circuits with pride." And we see the disembodied head of Optimus Prime saying, "I feel only loathing toward you, Shockwave, for forcing me to be a part of this obscene act. But I abhor myself even more so, for I am solely responsible for inflicting the threat of the Transformers' very presence on the noble beings of this world in the first place." And we see the workmen saying, "What are they talking about, Gabe? I stopped trying to understand those wire brains as soon as they took over this plant." As the editor's note tells us, was Transformers 7 and Episode 7. Ferdy, I just do what I'm told and don't ask questions.
Jeez.
And the title of this issue is "The Next Best Thing to Being There" by Bob Budiansky, writer, Ricardo Villamonte, penciler, as Matt said, Brad Joyce, inker, Janice Chang, letterer, Neil Yomtov, colorist, Mike Carlin, editor, and Jim Shooter, editor-in-chief.
All right, so we get Shockwave continuing his diatribe that Birdie and Gabe can't understand. Your compassion for the primitive, organically evolved creatures of this pathetic planet defies all reason, Optimus Prime. Even as enslaved drone workers, their value is limited. How you were able to command the Autobots for so long with a serious weakness of character confounds my logic center. But that is your past and is of no concern now, not when we are about to witness the very act of creation itself. And then you see this big machinery shooting some sort of a fire, shooting some quantum energy down on the machine. Observe. Yeah.
Sparkly quantum tentacles.
It looks like at least one. Observe now as the process begins. Each of the 6 carefully prepared brain modules already pulsates with the life infused with them by your creation matrix. Do you? So that's Transformers number 6. The legendary life-giving program of our native planet Cybertron that only a select few like yourself have possessed. See how in mere moments their printed circuits are flooded with data. Their microchips are encoded with their functions. Their very beings are stamped with their ultimate purpose.
The conquest of this planet to end the destruction of all Autobots. As we see the Gabe and Ferdy again saying, why are all those things starting to point this way? I told you, I don't ask questions, Ferdy. I just dock as I see energy coursing towards the newly born Decepticons. And Shockwave continues. The brain modules are now fully enlarged. Each is ready to be encased in its own unique body of my design. And hope that don't happen every time we do this. And it's a Gabe Ferdy says, I think my stash was singed. The seemingly chaotic choreography of swinging armatures and whirling gears, the machinery of the aerospace plant shifts into high-speed action.
Ooh, is that choreography? Like it's a nuclear core? Or no, just choreography.
Or like a dancer?
All right, so they both have stashes, and one of them doesn't really, well, maybe the one on the right looks a little singed, but until finally, would you look at that? I'm looking, but I don't know if I'm believing. And then Shockwave, behold Optimus Prime, the Constructicons, Scavenger, Mixmaster, Long Haul, as you see, sort of a purple and green variations in design, all armed with pistols. Then you see Bone Crusher, Scraper, and Mook. They shall build Decepticon bases that span the length and breadth of the world. They shall be the architects of our earthly empire. Our mission is programmed into us, Commander Shockwave. We await your orders. And I believe that is Scavenger saying that. And then proceed immediately, Scavenger. Yes, Commander. Constructicons, transform. And it looks like one of them is turning into a backhoe or something. Scavengers converts to his vehicle mode, an excavator, and the other Constructicons convert to theirs. Optimus Prime, in the head surrounded by wires, thinks, I am helpless to prevent the Constructicons from proceeding with their mission. I can only bear the burden of responsibility for the evil they inflict upon this world.
That one, it's probably hard to see on your screen, but it's Hook, not Mook. I wish it was Mook. I like that name better.
Yeah, okay. All right. I was like, Mook. Okay, that's something. Sometimes
awesome.
You just get a random one. All right.
I wish we had a transformer named Mook.
Hook. All right, so this one is being chased by a crocodile.
All right. So, but meanwhile, to the east, one of the peaks of the Cascade Mountain Range of northern Oregon serves as the most unusual sight for a most unique object. And hey, well, look, it's our buddy GB Blackrock. This spacecraft is enormous. This is a spacecraft we're in. It's enormous. And I believe it's proud. Yes, even by our Autobot standards, the Ark is very large. Which only means there are more to be damaged when we crashed here into Mount St. Hilary 4 million years ago. And more to be repaired now that we've awakened, Mr. Blackrock. And he says, call me GB, Prowl. Now that we're business partners, we should be more informal. And he says, agreed. The deal you struck with Jazz, last issue and last episode, where you supply our fuel needs in return for our protection and help in recovering your aerospace plant and oil drilling platform from the Decepticon, should be advantageous to us both. That is why I wanted you to come here to better understand us. And GB said, it's been a heck of an education so far. What are those two doing? Blue Streak and Brawn are working on the ionic fusion drive that powers the Ark in its interstellar travels. And GB says, your technology is truly centuries ahead of ours. My people could learn a lot from you. And he thinks, and I could learn a lot from myself. With their science, my BlackRock Enterprises could trounce all of its competition. But first, there's something pressing I must discuss with them. And as he says, I appreciate your taking me into your confidence, Prowl. But have you considered that public knowledge of living alien robots engaged in a civil war right here on Earth might trigger a worldwide panic?
Okay, now we have okay. Megatron? Oh, who's saying that? Megatron. Yes, that thought had occurred to us too. It is not our desire to be a destructive influence, and we Autobots are committed to hiding our presence as much as possible. Unfortunately, I cannot speak for the Decepticons. Ah, here is our repair bay, the private kingdom of Chief Medical Officer Ratchet. Ratchet moseys on in. I never seem to run short of patients, just spare parts. And Mechanic says, Jazz, what's the good word, GB? How's our partnership working out? You lost an entire arm in battle. How can you just sit there and... hey, don't blow a fuse. Sure, we can get hurt, but we can adjust our sensory circuitry, rewire it to shut off the paint. Then a few turns of a hypo screwdriver, and Doc Ratchet had us running like we're fresh off the assembly line. GB, check out the new arm. Like they say on Earth, we take a licking, but keep on ticking. GB says, yes, but what about him? And then we see old Sunstreak all cut up in the chest, see the circuit board sticking out. Poor old Sunstreaker. Doc's not sure if he'll ever be operational again. Just like earthly wars, ours too has its casualties, and the right side doesn't always win. That is why we sought your help. Together, Autobot and human, we can stop the Decepticons and spare your world the horror of their rule. Over here in our communications center, construction engineer Huffer is right now rebuilding our ultra-frequency monitoring. Huffer, what exactly are you doing? And Huffer puts down the bag of paint and says, I've nearly fixed the transdimensional radio wave scrambler Prowl. For the first time in 4 million years, we'll be able to contact our beloved Cybertron with it, and we'll be able to talk to home. See how it gleams in the hollow projection as he it shows it. I don't know if this is a hallucination because of too much huffing, but it seemed to see the hollow projection. That's all my huffing jokes for the day.
And Prowl says, that's an admirable endeavor, Huffer, but you're neglecting your primary assignment. Yes, I know. Repairing the monitoring antenna so we can eavesdrop on what the Decepticons are plotting at their aerospace plant headquarters. I apologize, Prowl. I will return to my assignment immediately. He says, you see, GB, we suffer from the same frailties as you humans. Huffer is homesick, as are all the Autobots. Unfortunately, he sometimes allows his feelings to interfere with his work. And his huffing. It is vital work. Before we launch an attack, we must know the Decepticons' plans. For not only are we concerned with the safety of your employees held hostage inside the plant, but also with that of our leader, Optimus Prime, as well. GB's like, what's this? That is the body of Optimus. It stands here inoperative, a grim reminder that we can never rest until we rescue his head, which is a helpless captive of the Decepticons. GB, that's not just grim, it's downright creepy. And he's like, wait a minute, I just remembered. The phones at the plant are bugged. I devised a system to improve security there, make sure no one was saying anything they shouldn't. To activate the system, all I have to do is dial a special code to a phone there. No one even has to answer it. Then we can listen in all we want. Then Prowl says, Huffer can build a telephone hookup for you to use. And Huffer, yes, it would be simple to make. If only that were simple to call Cybertron. And Prowl says, Huffer, you must direct your thoughts to, and that's when we get a call. Calling Commander Prowl, acknowledge. And Huffer, the inner Autobot radio. It's Bumblebee calling in from his surveillance mission.
Ooh, we haven't seen Bumblebee in a while. Bumblebee, this is Prowl. Proceed with your report. Something's going down. Something's going down at the plant. Something bad, but I'm not sure what. As we see tanks and guards surrounding it. Laserbeak just flew out. He's shooting 2 missiles at the army encampment. It's too smoky. I'm not sure what's happening now. And we see the army, seemingly their metal is melting, the tanks and the guns. Major, all the vehicles, the tanks, armored personnel, carriers, they're melting. My rifle looks like a stick of butter on a hot day in July. I'll radio for my radio. It's dripping out of my hand. The smoke, it's altering the structure of anything made of metal. The Decepticons are using the smoke as a diversion. I see 6 vehicles driving out of it. And then we see Split screen. Follow them, Bumblebee. I'll send reinforcements to intercept. And he thinks to himself, including Hover, who could use some action to lift his spirits.
While inside the plant, we see Shockwave talking to Optimus Prime's head. The Constructicons are but one piece in the game, Optimus Prime. Behold the next piece, and the most important, Jetfire. I have designed him to be the most powerful and lethal Decepticon jet yet. Now he is but a shell, but soon his form shall be whole, and your creation matrix shall fill it with life, and in so doing bring about the death of the Autobots. And Prime says, I won't be the cause of anyone's death. He's thinking, except my own. When Shockwave discovers the truth, I no longer possess the creation matrix. I'll be useless to him then. We'll never discover I transferred it to a human Buster Witwicky back in Transformers 6. At least I'll die knowing I denied him the power of the Matrix. And that's as great of Autobot victory as anyone on the battlefield. And elsewhere, in the outskirts of Portland, Sparkplug Wiki's garage. Remember that from Transformers number 2?
Looks like it's got a paint job or something.
Maybe.
It's all white.
We see, I guess, Buster's bringing his dad home finally. Thanks for picking me up, Buster. It's not every day you get released from the hospital, Dad. Of course I'd pick you up. And he's like, and about time I got out of there, too. Those doctors would keep you a week for an ingrown toenail if you let them. And Buster's like, you did have a heart attack, Dad. I was only a little one, son. Boy, it's great to be home again. And he says, and I can't wait to get back to work fixing cars. You know, son, if my hands weren't coated with an inch of motor grease, they may as well not be on my wrists. It's like, Dad, why don't you rest first?
Yes, sir. Must be a lot of cars still sitting here and need a Sparkplug Witwicky's tender love and care. I remember Fishbine's transmission needed rebuilding, and hey, where are the cars? I need to tell you, Dad, I fixed them all. Even took in some extra business. Hope you don't mind. Mind? I'm thrilled. I thought you weren't interested in auto repair, and I had no idea you knew how to actually fix something. I'm proud of you, son. It's not too late to change that sign over the garage to read Witwicky and Son, you know? Maybe I will take that rest now. Over dinner, you can tell me how you learned so much so fast about car repair, huh? Oh, sure, Dad. But first, I'd like to know myself, he thinks. Ever since Optimus zapped me, I've had this weird power. I can move metal objects with a thought. You see a screw beginning to kind of glow and unscrew itself. And recently, I learned to control the objects to understand them as if they were a part of me. Reassembling an engine block is no more difficult for me than screwing in this screw. But how will I explain all that to Dad when it doesn't even make sense to me? It is a question for which Buster can find no answer, at least for now.
Okay, here's my question. If Buster has the Matrix and Optimus doesn't anymore, how did they create the Constructicons?
Yeah, that's maybe we should get Bob Budiansky on the phone.
Get Bob Budiansky on the phone. But seriously, I mean, that's for years. I've been like, wait a minute. Then if you need the Matrix to create Transformers, where did these 6 come from?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's a little bit left over, but not the most important aspect of it. I don't know.
They're zombie Transformers.
Yeah, they're fraudulent representations.
All right. But several hours later, at a truck stop along a lonely stretch of Interstate 15 in southeastern Idaho, we see the waitress saying, well, look who just rolled in. Old Bomber Bill himself. How's my big boy doing? And he says, just dandy, Ethel, and even better after you dish up a serving of T-bone and taters drowned in some of that heavenly gravy of yours. It's a deal with a pot of black coffee to wash it down. So how come we haven't seen you around these parts for so long? And Bomber Bill says, I've been in the saddle, pedal to the metal, for 8 days straight, no breaks. Put 12,000 miles on old Bessie. 8 days, he didn't sleep?
He must have been huffing a lot of trucker fumes.
But now we're both heading home for some downtime, and I can't wait. Should be there with the sunrise. Look at these kids. Aren't they beautiful? And she said, they're darlings, Bomber Bill. I tell you, Ethel, when you've got a wonderful wife like mine and these two angels, it makes it hard for a man to take to the road 2 weeks at a time. Near rips my guts out to be away from them, but it makes it that much sweeter to go home. Know what I mean? And she says, I surely do, Bomber Bill. I surely do.
But outside,
Mm-hmm.
we see some Constructicons pulling up, all in a line. We got the excavator, kind of a crane with a hook, and then it looks like a cement truck pulling in.
That hoe.
Yeah. Shockwave spoke accurately. Raw material are plentiful in the vicinity of our target. And then Bomber Bill is in the bar. Did you hear something? Hey, Bomber Bill. It came from outside as he drops his carton of milk. The people of the truck stop bear witness to a scene they could never imagine. Awestruck by the savage spectacle, they stand there speechless as we see Bomber Bill's truck getting pieced up with all the other trucks are getting kind of tossed around by the Constructicons until a random swing of Hook's crane disturbs their reverie. Scrunch. Let's get out of here. They can keep my wheels. I'll drive away without them. Clear a lane for me. All the truckers yell. Not Bomber Bill. Bomber Bill's looking out at the devastation. They all flee into the nearby woods, all except one, whose fear is eclipsed by another thought. I'm going home, and that thieving lot ain't about to stop me.
All right, and nighttime, hours later, I guess Bomber Bill's just been walking on foot after the Decepticons.
Yeah.
I see him like on the side of the road. I saw him headed towards this road after they left the diner. But why? Nobody ever drives up here. Hardly anything's up this way. Then he sees headlights. Hey, those lights coming right towards me. Whoa, slow down. You're going my way. But the cars ignore Bomber Bill's plea and speed by, for these are no ordinary cars. These are Autobots. Hound, Blue Streak, Sideswipe, and Ironhide, and they have more urgent matters to attend to. And he says, you'd think one of these misbegotten jalopy drivers would have... Whoa, hey, another one. Well, this one's not getting by me. He'll have to run me over first. And then we see Huffer. Human, you jeopardize your safety.
Screech! Screeches to a halt. Bomber Bill opens up the side hatch of the door. You stopped, so it was worth the risk. Besides, I'm desperate. Some construction vehicles hauled off my truck and went up this mountain, and I aim to find them. Hey, who said that? There ain't nobody inside this thing. Relax, Bomber Bill. I'm on your side. I believe I seek the same quarry as you. I? Who is I? I am Huffer. You sit within me. Within you? In that case, I want out. Meanwhile, at the top of the mountain, it's a big satellite dish in the foreground. The Constructicons are showing up with their haul. Behold, fellow Constructicons, here is the deep space radio telescope Shockwave sent us to find. With proper modification, it will serve our purpose well. Then let's mash these brainless hunks of junk. Hook my mixing drum, thirst for metal or for fresh bodies to melt. Patience, Mixmaster. First, I will broadcast. And he shoots into tape mode. An interference field to prevent anyone from detecting our presence. Our work must not be interrupted. He transforms.
Oh, yes. And so under sound waves, protective electronic dome, the Constructicons attend to their grisly business. Bone Crusher rends trucks to pieces for raw materials. Scavenger uses his power shovel sensors to search for specific elements. Mixmaster fuses them into new alloys. Scrapper sculpts needed parts. Longhaul transports them to the satellite dish, and Mook assembles the carefully crafted pieces. Yeah, that Mook. For hours, the work continues at a frenzied pace. But later, look, Bumblebee awaits us. One of the Autobots says, "Greetings, friends. Happy to see you're able to track my signal hound, but I'm afraid you won't be happy to see that." What is it?
Wow. What is that? Well, it looks like a big bloomin' onion hooked up to a Decepticon.
Blue.
It is blue. It's exactly what I was working on back at the Ark. but on a much grander scale, a transdimensional radio wave scrambler. And it looks complete. It could communicate with any of 1,000 galaxies. It could call home. Autobots, how did they find us? Quick, destroy it. We don't know exactly what the Decepticons are planning to use it for, but I'm sure it can't be good. Bessie, you're okay. They haven't hurt you. I'm going to get you out of this boneyard, Bomber Bill says. The scrambler is not yet ready. I need more time to charge it. The Autobots must not interfere. Constructicons combine. Autobots transfer. Wait, what are these cons doing? And you see them all kind of go together. The Autobots witness a transformation unlike any they have seen before. As the six Constructicons join to form one terrifying Titan. And then you see Bomber Bill talking to his truck. Ethel must have started specking her coffee. I don't believe I'm eyeballing this. Still, these overgrown Tinker Toys can play King of the Hill all they want. I'm burning rubber out of here.
And we see the Autobots come at the Constructicons, who, as one said, all crumple before Devastator. And that's some gimmick. I've never seen a Decepticon that big. The Ironhide. This liquid nitrogen should cool them off. Huffer, you're the strongest of us. Smash that scrambler before it's operational. Yeah, Huffer's the strongest because he's on something. Meanwhile,
he wants to get smashed, so he's smashed.
Yeah, let's get crumpled.
Meanwhile, Eric Masterson is... Bomber Bill.
Damn, Macona, Bomber Bill. Dang, all that roughhousing must have upset old Bessie. She won't turn over. And we see Devastator giving the Autobots the backhand. Die, Autobots. Oof, he may be slow, but he's got a wicked left. Come on, give us that Boston accent, Cody. He's got a wicked left.
Got a wicked left.
Nice.
It's devastated. Devastator.
And Huffer saying, smash it. He says, how can I smash it? It's within reach. But how can I smash my one chance to reach Cybertron? To call home. We see Soundwave say, Devastator, you miswired clod. Get over here and destroy this Autobot before he ruins everything.
Destroy Autobot? Which Autobot? Quickly, Huffer. Devastator seems confused. Before he can respond to Soundwave's command, smash that scrambler. But we shouldn't do anything rash. We should consider our options. But before the Autobot can make a decision, the altered satellite dish erupts with an explosion of light and sound that shakes the entire mountaintop. Yes, the time has come. Nothing can stop my signal from reaching Cybertron. Pre-programmed pulses of energy cascade out of Soundwave's chest cavity and sweep through the connecting cables and pour into the scrambler. As you see, it all gets lit up until its microcircuitry can hold no more, and torrential waves of energy gush forth into the night.
Within moments, the electromagnetic pulses carrying Soundwave's mysterious message begin warping through interdimensional space on their journey to Cybertron, hundreds of light years away. And we see Devastator picking up an Autobot and shooting Bumblebee. Destroy Autobot? Which one? Not these Autobots. And Ironhide says, Huffer, the Decepticons must have determined the location of Cybertron. If we let them communicate with it, not only would the lives of us Autobots be endangered, but also those of the Earthlings we have sworn to protect. You must destroy the Scrambler. And we see Bomber Bill say, protect Earthlings? And Huffer's like, Ironhide's right. A whole army of Decepticons could be sent here. If Soundwave's signal reaches Cybertron, I've behaved like a fool. Soundwave, you're about to be disconnect. And before Huffer can finish that, Devastator comes over and says, destroy this Autobot.
That wicked left again.
The wicked.
So he lays them out. And then you see, but suddenly, Bomber Bill peels out towards him. He's got Bessie running again. You may have cleaned Huffer's clock, but old Bessie and me are ticking again. And you making threatening phone calls ain't something we look kindly upon. In other words, your dimes just run. But, mister, I think he means your dimes just run out. But
Yeah, it says out on mine, but yeah.
Really? It's totally
Oh, does it look like
a B for me. I'm being sabotaged. Where's Mook to bail me out? But severing my cable connections, Fleshling, you've only freed me to kill you, Soundwave says. And he picks up Bessie over his head. Hey, take your old rusty paws off of Bessie. And then Huffer, Bomber Bill! I have you, Bomber Bill! And he gets him and bashes Soundwave in the lower torso. Is that Bomber Bill says, thanks! Soundwave falls down.
Punches him right in the misspelled butt.
Yes. Yeah, right in the out.
All right, so then Soundwave saying, the energy surge caused by the sudden disconnection is destroying the scrambler, but no matter. The message was transmitted. At least most of it was. Our mission here is complete. Devastator, your coordination and thinking as one unit was noticeably deficient. Maybe because they weren't created by the Matrix. Return to your 6 separate vehicular forms, Constructicons, as they transform. And then Soundwave transforms. The time has come to leave. Soundwave jumps on Long Haul, and the Constructicons rumble off into the sunrise. And let them go. We're in no shape to chase them after the beating we just took. We see fellow Autobots. Huffer says, I asked you to forgive me for my poor judgment. I allowed my longing for beloved Cybertron to blind me. I don't know if I can ever make up for my mistake. Bomber Bill, well, we all drive off the road sometimes when it comes to wanting to go home, Huffer. Ain't nothing else that can eat at your insides like that feeling. Heck, I just went chasing after a bunch of murdering truck rustlers for that very same reason. And that wasn't the smartest thing I've ever done either.
Little trucker insight. And then we hear Huffer, speak wisely, Bomber Bill. Hey, we're all the same, big buddy. We suffer from the same aching and we all make mistakes. You're right, Bomber Bill, except we're not quite the same. You can go home now. I can't, we hear Megatron say. Epilogue. Decepticon headquarters, Black Rock Aerospace, plant number 1. I see that new jet that we're messing around with, and here's Shockwave. I don't understand. Optimus Prime, all the proper connections have been made, the energy flow levels adjusted, yet you have failed to infuse life into Jetfire with your creation matrix. Explain. I have nothing to say, Shockwave. I shall have the circuitry rechecked, but if all is in order, as I expect it shall be, then the problem must lie with you. And if it turns out you can no longer provide me with the creation matrix, then it is logical that I no longer have any reason to let you continue living. Is it not? As a warrior, Prowl is familiar with adversity. The same is true of GB Blackrock, Chief Executive Officer of a vast industrial empire, and they both know how to deal with it. But now, as they stand within the Ark, listening to Shockwave's ominous words come over a telephone monitoring device, all they know is a helpless feeling. All they know is a feeling of total helplessness, and they don't know what to do about that. Next issue, heads up, Autobots, Jetfire is in the air.
But yeah, important issue here, people, because that call did go out, and it'll come back to haunt the Autobots at least once, if maybe I think it's 2 times. So.
Yeah, so things are moving. Pretty decent battle. We got some new enemies. A little wrinkle in the fact that they can do a little pre-Power Rangers Megazord combination action. And
these zombie transformers.
Yeah, and we know, well, we knew that Buster Witwicky was affected. You know, Optimus did something with him. We didn't know he could move things with his mind, and just has the ability to make his father proud, which is unexpected.
He can affect all things metal. He's going to go out and fight the X-Men.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that it?
I think so. I think
all
that's
right.
all.
Well, remember, come back next time for Transformers 11, and check back here and on the Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks podcast, where me and Matt are joined by our friend Will for the Quantum Zone, our podcast about the Marvel Comics character Quasar.
Yes, and we are in the midst of a storyline that Will has gone out and, I don't think he's wrong, but it's a lot of controversy. He said it's the greatest cosmic story told in a Marvel comic book, and with the I know Endgame and Infinity War doesn't exactly follow the way the comics went, but that's bold. So if you want to know what all the hype is about, tune in and listen to our coverage of Cosmos and Collision.
Yeah, and send us your thoughts on any of this Transformers stuff. capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Please follow us on Greetings from Cybertron on Facebook, on Twitter, at Greet Cybertron. Send us voicemails, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And you can find everything our team does at capesandlunatics.org. All right. Let's get out of here. And remember, people, find yourself good hobbies. Don't be in the garage huffing stuff.
Stay in school.
That's right. Remember, a long-distance phone call can cost you more than just money.
And your phone might be tapped by rich billionaires. That would never happen, though. Come on.
And for those, I know that was weird. It's just like I want to hear if my employees are back talking me. And I hate to disappoint people, but we never see Bomber Bill again. He went home. His war is over. He went home. But we will see Buster Wiki next episode.
Oh, no more Bessie.
Oh, Bessie. All right. Come back next time, Autobots. Roll out.